What other kids did you hang out with?
Basically all the cliches of a shit gang. Basically you have the guy with long hair, the surfer dude, you've got the fat one who's German, who we call him Herman, and the other ones, one virgin, one other, that was black. We had a token black guy in that gang, that was cool, and I was just the Joker, so just a bunch of arseholes really.
Brainiacs. We were our own little geek squad and we were really cool. But then you didn't really, our school wasn't great, like there was a lot of drugs and everything, so everyone got on because most people were high most of the time.
If you go with the clique thing, I hung out with everyone, so I hung out with the geeks, and I used to skate, so I hung out with the skaters, and then I hung out with musicians, and I hung out with what is in school is supposedly the cool ones, who are now all in dead-end jobs or prison, so they weren't that cool. But I literally just hung out with everyone at different times.
No, there was like the cool kids, the middle kids who could go into both, and then the geeks. And looking back, it was probably the middle lot. But half of them are geeks.
It's the lead of the moshers. No, I wasn't the leader, we didn't have a leader, but people did see us as a gang eventually. I found out in third year because some idiot kid, he brought like a grand into school in cash to prove to his mates that he had it. The school wasn't great, so he came up to me just before English and was like, you know, I could put that grand in. And I was like, yeah. He was like, well, I see it, there's like 3 or 4 gangs in this school. There's the chavs, the blacks, the moshers, and then everyone else. And at the moment, the chavs, the blacks, and everyone else is after me. You're the only people not doing anything about it, so could you hold on to this grand? I was like, go on then, and just kept it in my pocket for the rest of the day thinking, shit, I hope no one realises I've got it now.
I spoke to the guy that didn't talk, you know, as well. He kept to himself, but I sort of, I was his role model, I could tell. I was the coolest in my class.
They called themselves the Chase Terrace Mafia for a while. None of them wore suits, red Tommy guns, or put out hits on the other school. And then they just played football and kicked balls at people. They sometimes hung out behind a church. And one of them, he called himself MC Poopy Pants and just started rapping, and he was awful. Just awful.
We were weird, but we didn't really care. Like, we used to get, like, people would like bully us and stuff, but we'd just get over it, and we were just, I don't know, we just didn't care about being stupid.
I started going to the gym loads and I thought, yeah, hang out with all my gym friends, or yeah, get clubs, and then like halfway through, I just thought, this is bollocks, like drinking and smoking is much more fun. And then I think I got a whole new plethora of friends who enjoyed the same things I did. So yes, the drinkers and the smokers and the stoners were the people I hang out with.
I think I'm at that stage now.
We didn't really have crew. We just had one big group of us, and it was just there was us, and then there was the nerdy kids, and I wasn't in the nerdy kids one, so I'm guessing I'm in the cool crew. But there was yeah, we didn't really have cliques in our school. There was just one big group of us, and we just seemed to all get on. And I still speak to most of them to now. So yeah.
Mostly in my year, and classmates, just general friends. They weren't very interesting. I didn't really hang out with people that were kooky. I think I was the kooky one, usually. But they were usually very boring, and I didn't like them very much anyway. I don't really like people very much. Next question, Robbie. Last. Fuckers.
I think they referred to us as the alternative or the indie kids, which I hate that label with a passion. But I think it was just, I just found friends who I had stuff in common with, and it was mostly people like me who just sort of don't really take anything seriously. And just,
why do you hate the term indie kids?
I don't know, it just always, I hate people sort of, you label other people for being sort of cool and that kind of thing, and that seems like an extension of that.
Yeah, because I know India's meaning independent, so...
Yeah, I think
I'd be flattered to go with you.
Yeah, that would be good. I think it's got this other sort of meaning of like, you know, indie music and stuff, and like the hipster kind of scene and stuff like that. And I just think it's a bit, I think it's pretentious to call yourself like an indie kid or something like that. But I suppose there are worse things to be labelled with though. Should have been happy with that.
Video games may be damaging to people. It's not that it's damaging, it's damaging, you know, to your self-image, because there's nothing more worse than when you got no money and you're in Walthamstow Market and you start thinking of some crazy stuff, you know. If Super Mario can get money from a brick, then maybe I can too. Or if you try something from Assassin's Creed, and he happens to be Chinese. Hey, don't try it. I will use my muscle arm. Okay, allow it. I'm sorry, take it back. Okay. But before you go, I want to ask you one question. DVD.
When did you discover your desire to perform?
I don't know, because I didn't come into this while I was 21. I come to uni at 21. I'd never done drama or performing arts or anything. Probably the first time I ever thought, because we had to do for uni, we had to do our gig, did our first gig. And that was the first ever thing I'd ever done on stage. I'd never been on stage before. And it went down pretty well, so I was hooked on it, I was addicted to it.
I've been in a, there's a shop called Freshers, like an alcohol sort of like shop. Freshers, but basically, like off license. And I was in sort of like a training video for that, where like say don't serve kids that are underage, because I looked underage. I was like trying to buy booze and stuff like that. And I was also in a recreation of a rape. So for the police. So imagine that. That's a genuine true story.
I auditioned for Annie when I was like 8, and I got Miss Hannigan. But then from then on, I wanted to be in every play with the lead role. So
during the years of 3 and 4, they introduced us to like sessions of drama, and like we'd do like little funny physical theatre games and things like that. And then when I was in year 5, I then moved to Chingford, and I went to a primary school called Longshore, and they didn't have drama there. And I remember just feeling, you know, this whole year, thinking I want to perform, I want to do drama, and the only thing I got into was being the rear end of the cow in this Jack and the Beanstalk story.
When I was young, I used to tell jokes to my friends at lunchtime. And they liked it, and I thought, they like it, my friends like it, let's try it if strangers do. Went to an open mic night just to watch, and then as a dare, I got really drunk and went on stage, told some jokes, and the audience liked it, and I thought, I like this feeling, let's carry it on.
I went to the pantomime, and I didn't really. I went all past the theatre, and I saw a guy who had just come out, he was obviously a performer, and he was getting with a girl, so I thought, oh, what a way in.
I don't know, I think I've always been quite frustrated. It's only really since I've been here that I've started to discover it. Well, not discover it, I've always knew it was there, but I've never indulged in it. And then coming here, because I've always been scared of it, I've always had trouble with nerves and everything. And then the great thing was when you come and you do the like stand-up classes here, you have to get up. You're kind of forced to get up, and I needed that. I came here purposely so someone would say, right, do this, get up and be funny now. And the more you do it, the more you get used to it. And like when I was first in it, you could literally stand at the back of a room and you could see me like shaking from the other side.
Through primary school, I was always in the school plays and everything. I was always doing the talent shows, and then high school I took drama, and I was always in them shows. And college, I went to a drama college and carried it on there, and obviously come to uni now and you do stand-up and the comedy degree and everything. So I guess kind of through all my life I've always wanted to be a performer. I think it was just picking out something that, what type of genre you wanted to be, whether you wanted to be an actor or a comedian, and that sort of gone down the more route of being a comedian.
I remember going on the train to London with a whole load of classmates when I was 11,
and just on a Saturday, and just back then they had individual carriages, so we were in this individual carriage, and I just climbed up and laid in the racking. Don't know why, can't remember now. Maybe someone dared me to, I don't know. But yeah, I like to hear people laughing. I think there's nothing better than hearing people laugh, because it relaxes the body, it relaxes the mind of the person laughing. I think that's a great thing.
I always enjoyed drama in school, but I never took it for GCSE. And I done a few gigs, and I thought to myself, how about I do a BTEC in drama? Just because obviously it's the next sideline, isn't it? Performing arts, stand-up comedy are pretty much on the same wavelength. So I thought, I'll do that, get some qualifications, and see what happens. So I thought to myself, well, there you go. Gigs in the night, drama, and you know.
It was when I was about 6, and we were going on me and my family were going on a cruise to Spain, and they had like a talent competition on the way. It was like awful, like getting the kids involved, you know, it was like a dance thing. And I wasn't allowed to dance because I was too young, but I wanted to get up there on stage. So when it was like the age group, like 10 to 15 or whatever, I just ran up on stage and started dancing, and won the prize for best dance, even though I was really 6 years old.
I hosted a talent show when I was about 15 at my school to like 300 odd people. I didn't even know what comparing was, but I was basically comparing. I've still got it on footage somewhere. And after that I went, well, this is a lot of fun. It's a bit like I'm telling jokes and stuff. I tried to write jokes before that for like an audition to do it, and then I was like, I can't write jokes yet, I don't know how to do it. And when I was comparing, I didn't do any jokes, I just made stuff up. That's when I started getting into it, and after I did my first gig, I went, this is, when I was 16, week before my 17th birthday, I went, this is it. I don't want to do anything else, this is what I want to do.
Back to the Future, man. I used to want to be Marty McFly. Still do, to be honest with you. I thought he was like the coolest guy ever.
I think it was when I was at a comedy gig in Cranley, and I was talking to the guy that ran it, and I was talking about the course. I was just saying, I've discovered this comedy course, I think it looks really interesting, and he offered me a slot. And I never took him up on the offer because this would have ruined it, but it was the fact that I realised that gigs were actually quite open, like they were easy to get. I think that's when I realised that I could do it, and that was kind of when my desire, like I stepped up again. I thought, you know what, I might actually try this.
And I read a statistic the other day that said 17 out of 100 farmhands have had an inappropriate relationship with one or more of their animals. Interesting. Bear in mind, I live on a farm. I know a lot of farm workers, and it roughly works out as 1.7 of my friends have had a hay-based pants party. Not nice. I'm wondering what the 0.7 did. Just flicked a nipple and ran. I'm not sure. Just, over milked the cow for a little bit too long and just buggered out of a haystack.
Hello, sir. Sorry to bother you, but I'm Detective Colin Ham. This is Detective Terry Onions. I was wondering if we could ask you a few questions about what happened next door.
Oh, you mean double murder?
You catch on fast.
Nice, that will save us a lot of time.
So, where exactly were you? At approximately...
Jesus Christ! Look at those petunias!
So you're a horticulturist?
Well, yeah, sure, I've dabbled, but nothing of this calibre. So, let's have a look then.
At what?
Well, this is what you got out front. Imagine what treasures you got lurking back there, eh? Come on!
Not my treasures!